Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I am using the Scythe, and I've liked this weapon for a very long time. On my very first build, when I first got into PvP, I used this weapon a lot, went right into Dark Root, right into where all the gankers live, put Sunlight Blade on this thing, and went flipping towards them in my full stone armor. Good times. Oh, yeah, that was... Everyone was doing it. And, I mean, everyone was flipping at the time and acting like that. It was just, they were the Dark Ages. Okay, enough of that. The Scythe, back on topic. The Scythe is a really fun weapon to use. It's got a lot of really good things going for it, and it is really a good weapon in general. It has a weight of 5 units, so for a Halberd class weapon, that is really good. It's very light. It's got a strength requirement of 14 and dexterity of 12, which is interesting considering that the weapon itself, when at plus 15, it has a B scaling in dexterity and an E in strength. I mean, sure, there are other weapons where there is a difference similar to that, but usually it's not that extreme, so I don't know, I just kind of find that a little bit interesting, so yeah. Now, the pros and the cons of the weapon, I would have to say that the biggest pro of this weapon is its ability to dead angle. Seriously, this thing is incredible at dead angling. Its rolling attacks can dead angle, its R2s can dead angle, its one-handed R2 and two-handed R2 both can dead angle very easily. Especially that two-handed R2. That is dangerous when someone dead angles that. It's really good when you're close to someone and you do it to them. There's nothing they can do. So just pointing that out. Although there is the off chance that they could still parry it, but that's a very slim chance. You almost never see the R2 on the Halberd class weapons, the two-handed one. You almost never see that attack be parried. I've only done it myself a handful of times. The very first time I did it was actually just a few months ago. One of the very last times I fought Martyr's Brigade. I'd like to get some more fights with him sometime, but he's been sucked into kill zone, so whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, back on topic. So, pros of the weapon, dead angling ability is where I was at. It's one-handed R1s, or R2s rather. They can dead angle very well as well. And when you dead angle with them, you can really bait people in with them incredibly easily. It's interesting. You would think after doing a huge, wide swing completely around you the first time, they'd back off. But usually they come in and attack right after that, and then you can attack again, or you can parry them, and it just sets you up incredibly well for some reason. I don't know why people think it's a good idea to go in after that first one-handed R2, but I'm not going to complain. Let's see. Some other pros of the weapon. I would have to say that its damage output is definitely a pro for me with my 40 strength and 35 dexterity. It's got some pretty good damage output, or it's got a pretty good damage output rather. It's doing right between 490 and 500 damage, or it's got an AR of that rather. You know what I mean. Other than that, I'd have to say other pros would be just typical Scythe not typical Scythe pros, but typical Halberd class pros. Bleh, can't talk. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now the cons of the weapon, I would have to say that the biggest con is when someone gets in close to you, you've got a very limited number of options for what to do. So really, when someone's in close, you've got two choices. One, you can kick them, or two, you can go for an R2 attack. Or I guess 3, you can start R1 spamming. So I guess there's 3 options that are generally very viable in that case. Its moveset really does not encourage close fighting. That's more of a battle axe-like thing, a broadsword, longsword, stuff like that. This weapon's moveset is very good if you're a defensive player. You can just sort of bait people to come in towards you and have you, or you can bait people to come in towards you and have them sort of chase you around, and when they do that, it just leaves them open for its one-handed and two-handed R1s. So yeah, it works really well for that. I've noticed a lot of people are like that, and then at the right moment when the opponent backs off, they go in and they go for an R1 then. And it works very well for that as well, just simply due to the fact that it's got such long range, and most people back off along a straight line, they don't go off at angles. Speaking of angles, if you're fighting someone who goes off at angles while fighting, say they're unlocked and they're just moving off to the side off at an angle, you're going to have some trouble fighting against that, simply because of the fact that, your first attack rather, your R1 attack, it's just straight down chop. Your second R1, on the other hand, you've got that swing, that horizontal swing, so there's something good for you there. But, that's your second swing, and that's easier to parry just because they can set up for it easily. So, just throwing that out there. Alright, so we've got this one last fight. For those of you who did not notice, I have a massive stack of souls, and I look slightly different, a bit thinner on this build now. And that is because I am on the PlayStation. I use the Mega Mule, and I'm good to go as far as my build is concerned. So, it's all good. I'm on PlayStation now, and getting started with the PvP. So, anyway, this is the last fight. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you next time.